Good evening and welcome to this Committee of Adjustments meeting. I'd like to call the meeting to order. We have quorum. One councillor is online. Adoption of the agenda. Any changes to the agenda? If not, I need a mover and a seconder. Renee and Roger. Those for the acceptance of the agenda? Carried. Thank you. Councillor Willie, I can't see you. If you don't be scared to make yourself heard if there is something.
I will do. I had video a minute ago. Let's see if I can work this out.
Okay. Any disclosures to declare? None? Thank you. The minutes of our last Committee of Adjustment meeting. Any comments, omissions? If not, a mover and a seconder. Councillor Willie and Mayor Giselle. Those in favor? Carried. Thank you. Number 5, we have 2 public hearings. This evening, there is a public hearing scheduled for 2 proposed minor variances. Application number A/5/25/French River, Michael Higgins. And the second one is number A/06/25/French River, Douglas and Deborah Beeson. I knew I was going to do it. I apologize. Biesinger. The Committee of Adjustments is holding a public hearing to decide whether to approve a minor variance application. The committee will be presented with the details and background to the minor variance application and will receive comments from the public and agencies before a committee decision is made. Monsieur Dumont, how was notification given?
Thank you, Chair. Can you hear me? Good. Okay, thank you. So notice of public hearing was posted in the municipal office. It was sent by mail to the assessed owners within 60 meters of the property subject to the minor variance application, and to those persons and agencies likely to have an interest in the application tonight. The notices were sent on May 28th, 2025, being over 10 days prior to this evening's meeting. Included with each notice was an explanation of the purpose and effect of the minor variance application and a key map showing the location of the subject property.
I now declare this a public hearing to deal with application number A/05/25/French River, Michael Higgins. The Director of Planning will advise of the purpose and effect of the minor variance application and provide any other information that is relevant to the application.
Thank you, Chair. So with respect to this application, the Sudbury East Planning Board has received 2 applications or 2 development applications. So we have concurrent applications. We have a severance application, which will be subsequently heard on this Thursday, June 12th, at the Sudbury East Planning Board's second Thursday meeting of each month. And that's going to be for the severance application. As part of that severance process, which I'll explain shortly, the board makes decisions on supporting, well, they're the authority for approval for severances. So should they wish to approve the severance on Thursday night, there will be provisional consent, meaning that the severance is conditionally approved. It's not finally approved, it's conditionally. So what that means is part of the conditions will form as a minor variance, is why we're here tonight. Again, the meeting dates are never perfect, so we're hearing the minor variance application tonight. In this instance, where a couple of days from now, I'll be touching on the variance decision from the committee and tying that into my presentation to the board. So that's going to be conditionally approved should the board accept and approve the severance for the lot addition. So with that said, the subject lands are located south of Voyageur Golf Course, east of Riverside Drive. The area east of Riverside Drive is predominantly composed of residential rural lots, meaning smaller residential lots. While the rest of the area west of Riverside features waterfront residential lots fronting on to the Murdoch River. The subject property is also located north and west of Highway 607. So the owner is at 287 Riverview Drive, has entered into an agreement with Mr. Higgins, who's acting as the agent for this application. The owner of the abutting property is 297 Riverview Drive, and that's Mr. Higgins' property, and he wants to acquire a small, irregular shaped parcel of land with frontage on Riverview Drive. The intent of this severance is to effect a lot addition to protect the enjoyment and privacy of 287 Riverview Drive, which contains right now a single detached dwelling unit that directly overlooks the subject portion of this property. So the acquisition is intended to ensure that no structures are built that could obstruct the views or negatively impact the residential use of the property. So that's the purpose and intent of the severance. Now, as part of this process, I'll touch on the official plan. So the official plan supports lot boundary adjustments. It's a perfect example where you're just taking one piece of land and you're shifting it to another piece of property, which is considered a lot bound. You're just adjusting the lot lines here. And in terms of the zoning for the municipality of French River, we have, both lots, 287 and 297 Riverview Drive are both residential rural zones. Again, they permit single-family homes. The minimum lot area requirement for each is 0.8 hectares. So it's just around 2 acres of land. And the minimum lot frontage is 60 meters of frontage, road frontage for each lot. So the parcel that's proposed to be severed is approximately 0.25 hectares in area, and it has a lot frontage of approximately 30 meters, and is currently vacant. So the lands to be retained will be approximately 1.12 hectares in area with 30 meters of frontage. So it's still, in terms of area, very sizable lot. Even with cutting off a small piece, it's still over the 0.8 hectare threshold. Now, the issue is the frontage, and this is why we're here tonight in front of the committee. So there was 60 meters of frontage, and now it's going down to 30 for the retained lands, which also contains a single-family home and a detached garage. That's specifically retained lands. So once those lands are added to 297 Riverview Drive, the lot area is going to increase, obviously. So his Mr. Higgins' property is going to go to 1.26 hectares in lot area, and his frontage is also going to increase because it's existing 60 meters. So it's going to go to 90 meters because we're taking the 30 meters and adding it to his. So he's going to be still in conformity in terms of the lot area, lot frontage for him. And he will continue to have a single family home and his detached garage on his property. So from a technicality perspective and a bylaw perspective, the relief for the variance this evening deals with 7.6.2 AI as in Irene, the minimum lot frontage. And that minimum lot frontage to permit a minimum lot frontage of 30 meters on the proposed retained lands, whereas 60 meters is required. So that's the purpose and intent of why we're here this evening. As part of this process, I always circulate to agencies. And in this particular case, we got comments from the municipality or municipal staff from French River, and they advised through the circulation process that there were no concerns with respect to this application from all department heads. And in terms of phone calls, emails from neighboring properties in the area, we did not receive any with this particular application. So it's just pretty quiet on the forefront. And in summary, the variance this evening does conform to the official plan zoning bylaw as deemed desirable and appropriate for the area and is minor. So it meets the 4 tests under the Planning Act and can be supported from a planning perspective.
Thank you, Matthew. I don't believe the applicant or rep is present, so there's no questions or comments from them. Is there any questions or comments from members of the public? None. Any questions or comments from council members? If there are no further questions, then I declare the public hearing to be concluded. It is now for a committee member to make a motion and for the committee to consider the application. Do we have a question, or are you moving the motion? You're moving the motion, seconded by Renee, and the motion reads,
So it is moved and seconded, be it resolved that application number 80525 FR, Michael Higgins, be approved and that the necessary notice of decision be prepared.
those in favor? Carried, thank you. Please be advised that a specified person, public body, or registered owner may appeal the decision to the Ontario Land Tribunal by filing a notice of appeal with the clerk of the municipality of French River. The notice of appeal must set out the reasons for the appeal and must be accompanied by the required fee, which is prescribed under the Ontario Land Tribunal Act 2017. This fee should be made payable to the Minister of Finance. All comments will be treated as public records and given out upon request. I now declare this a public hearing to deal with the application number A/06/25 French River, Douglas and Deborah Biesinger. The Director of Planning will advise of the purpose and effect of the minor variance application and provide any other information that is relevant to the application.
Thank you, Chair. So with respect to this application for minor variance this evening in front of the Committee of Adjustment, this is strictly just a minor variance application. There's no additional applications for this. So whatever the decision is this evening is final and binding with the committee for the variance. So with this particular application, the subject lands are predominantly surrounded by waterfront residential uses, with the exception of one waterfront commercial tourist property. There's two provincial highways. There's Highway 69 and Highway 607 or 607A that are located to the south of this property, with Highway 69 situated further south. Haas Road connects to Highway 607A. The surrounding area also includes Crown land, while lands further to the south are primarily rural and residential rural in nature. So access to the property is provided via Haas Road. It's a municipal road, which transitions onto a small, it's called like on our system CGIS, small Young Duck Road, and it's a shared private driveway. So I just want to emphasize that that section of road is privately, has no regard to the municipal side of things. But it forms part of this, the context of where the site is and how you get to the site. So the total distance from Haas Road, where it's municipally maintained, to the waterfront property is approximately 226 meters of private road. Now, the site currently contains an existing seasonal cottage, which is considered legal non-compliant. So again, the cottage built back in the day predates the bylaws. It's been there forever. It's closer. If you look at the site plan here, you'll see that some of the numbers to the high water mark or the optimal summer water level is not the required 20 meters. It's within that. That's okay. That's how you define legal non-compliant with the current standards of the bylaw that says 20 meters. Well, it's 16.3. Well, it's legal non-compliant. You don't need a variance for that. Okay. So the purpose of this is the property owner is proposing an addition to the existing seasonal cottage, and the proposed addition consists of a screen porch. So that screen porch is 2.4 meters or 2.44 meters to be exact by 4.88 meters. So that's the size of this screen porch that's going to be attached to the seasonal dwelling. Now, in terms of the summary, so again, the applicant is seeking relief to permit the addition of a screen porch measuring the dimensions I just stated, which is 8 feet by 16 feet. To the existing cottage. The porch is to be located on the southeast corner on the plan of the existing cottage, and that existing cottage is situated at approximately 16.3 meters from the optimal summer water level, and at its closest point, the proposed addition will be 17.7 meters. So that's why you still need the variance for the screen porch. It's still within that 20 meter setback at 17.7. meters at its closest point, thereby increasing the setback from the water's edge. So like, again, the little context here, I always provide context to my reports. So the cottage was constructed in 1974 at legal non-complying, and the cottage is not extending any further. It's just going to be a status quo in place. The subject lot is large. It's an irregular. It's unique. If you look at the aerial imagery, it's a irregular shaped lot. It's unique in that sense. And it's 1 hectare. It exceeds it exceeds the current standards, which is rare because most lots that were created back in the 70s were undersized, but this one exceeds the current standard of 0.8 hectares. It's 1 hectare in size lot area. And in terms of water frontage, it's also very generous. It's 150 meters. Again, 60 meters of frontage required. Again, it exceeds that. So yeah, well above the minimum requirements of the current standards of the bylaw. I also looked at the lot coverage because that's also important. We always look at lot area, lot frontage, and lot coverage. Those are the 3 important pieces to the zone standards of waterfront residential. So as part of the exercise, you got to understand the lot coverage. The existing cottage is approximately 1,280 square feet. It's 32 by 40 feet with an attached screen porch of, again, this attached screen porch is already there. This is not in addition to what we're talking about. So that's separate, but it still adds to the square footage. So it's 320 square feet. So that attached screen porch is 8 by 40. That's attached to the existing camp. And so if you add those numbers up, it's about 1,600 square feet. And then now we're going to add the proposed screen porch, which is about 128 square feet. So we're at 1,728. And if you take that and divide it by hectares, it's still well under the 15% threshold. But again, just to prove that there's no issues in terms of lot coverage, legality, it's all good there. So again, and it proves that it's in conformity to the zoning bylaw with the exception of this high watermark setback. So basically, I just provide my planning opinion saying it's minor nature that's being requested. The proposal does not bring the structure any closer to the water than the existing legal non-compliant building. In fact, the addition increases the setback to 17.7 meters. The orientation of the cottage and the location of the addition ensure that the proposed porch remains further from the water than the current building footprint. That's a key point. And the variance is desirable for the appropriate development and enjoyment of the property. The addition is modest in size. Like I said, it's 8 by 16 and improves the usability of the existing cottage without resulting in overdevelopment of the lot. That goes back to the lot coverage calculations. How do you determine something's overdevelopment? That's a standard staple you can use. The general intent of the zoning bylaw is maintained. The proposed respects of the intent setback provisions by avoiding further encroachment toward the water and remaining compatible with the surrounding waterfront is not negatively impacted. And lastly, the application maintains a general intent and purpose of the official plan, which seeks to ensure the development is appropriate for the site and protects the natural features. There will be no adverse environmental impact or negative impact on the neighboring properties due to the large size of the lot and the location of the addition. So in conclusion, in my professional opinion, the application meets all the 4 tests under Section 45(1) of the Planning Act, and I have no concerns with the proposed relief that's been brought forward to the committee this evening. The variance is requested is minor, appropriate, and consistent with our official plan and zoning bylaw for the municipality of French River. And then in terms of agency review, again, circulate through the agency. It's pretty quiet for this application as well. The staff of the municipality of French River had no concerns or objections with respect to this proposal. We didn't receive any phone calls, nor did we receive any emails with objections or concerns with this application. Again, pretty quiet on this particular application. With that said, no other comments were received.
Thank you, Matthew. Does the application have anything to add to this, or? Okay. Thank you. Any questions from members of the public? Thank you. Any questions from members of council? Thank you. If there are no further questions, I then declare this public hearing to be concluded. It is now for a committee member to make a motion and for the committee to consider the application. Moved by Renee, seconded by Roger. Motion, please.
Moved and seconded, be it resolved that application number 80625 French River, Douglas and Deborah Ann Biesinger be approved and that the necessary notice of decision be prepared.
Those in favor? Carried, thank you. Please be advised that a specified person, public body, or registered owner may appeal the decision to the Ontario Land Tribunal by filing a notice of appeal with the clerk of the municipality of French River. The notice of appeal must set out the reasons for the appeal and must be accompanied by the required fee, which is prescribed under the Ontario Land Tribunal Act 2017. This fee should be made payable to the Minister of Finance. All comments will be treated as public record and given out upon request. I need a motion to adjourn. We have Willie and Roger. All in favor? Carried.